Special Magistrate, Code Enforcement Special Magistrate hearing for Monday, August 18th to order. Hello, my name is Erica Agello, and I am the appointed Special Magistrate to hear today's cases. I am a practicing attorney licensed by the Florida Bar and board certified in city, county, and local government law. I have been appointed to this position in accordance with the authority set forth in Chapter 162 Florida statutes and the City of St. Pete Beach Code of Ordinances. I am not an employee of the City of St. Pete Beach and do not represent the city here today, and I do not confer with the city's code enforcement officers outside of the hearing process about your cases. It is my role to fairly and objectively review the matters presented. As such, I would like to advise you of certain matters related to today's proceedings. Today's matters will be heard in the order in which they appear on the agenda unless otherwise agreed. Every effort will be made to hear all persons having relevant evidence, arguments, or comments related to the specific case that is being heard. If you wish to speak today, it is necessary that you will be sworn in, which I will do momentarily. All testimony given will be done so under oath. In all cases, since the city has the burden of proof, the city will present its case first. The respondent then will be given an opportunity to refute the city's allegations. Formal rules of evidence do not apply to this proceeding. However, I will make every effort to ensure that fundamental fairness and due process is afforded to all parties. After hearing all relevant evidence, I will issue an order. The order will be reduced to writing and all parties will be provided with a copy. So please ensure that we have your current address or email address provided. Additionally, you're advised that I do not have the authority to grant you a variance, permit, or special exception of any kind. My role is solely to determine whether a city code has been violated and under some circumstances provide a reasonable time to correct the violation by whatever means are available to you. Please be advised that you may be subject to a fine and a lien may be recorded on your property if the violation is not corrected by the compliance deadline if one is provided. If you wish to present any evidence today, please sign in at the podium before you speak, and it will be necessary that you swear or affirm to tell the truth. Therefore, at this time, I will swear in any witnesses. Anyone wishing to speak today, please stand and raise your right hand to be sworn in. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Yes. So sworn. Do we have any changes to the agenda this morning?
Good morning, Special Magistrate Agenda. Pete Dewar on behalf of Code Enforcement. The changes to the agenda is case number 2025-0299, which is 4A on the new cases. We'd like to move that case to October, please.
And there's no objection from the respondent on that one for continuance?
No, they requested, I think the representative for the owner has COVID.
Okay.
Or is ill,
yeah,
rather.
They sent an email, the representative, it's Ms. Babbitt.
Yeah, okay.
The gentleman that's working with her is sick, he's not even coming.
Okay, no worries.
I do have an email I'll submit.
And that was that Mr. Simmons? Is he?
Yes, Simmons.
Yeah, okay.
Is that October 13th, Jenny?
I think we set it for the, was it 20th?
October 13th.
It is the 13th?
Yes.
Oh, okay, 10. I thought we moved it, right?
It is.
It is October 6th. Thank you. That's what okay, so I will do that for October 6th.
Thank you. And
Any other changes?
the one that's listed on the agenda, 2A, case number 2025-0339, we would like an order to dismiss that case, please.
To dismiss.
Yes, please. Thank you.
Has it come into compliance or just choosing not to prosecute?
We're not prosecuting at this time. Thank you.
Okay, no problems. And any other changes or everything moving forward?
Everything moving forward.
Okay, then we will move on to the first item on our agenda today. Agenda item 3A, case number 2024-0529, City of St. Pete Beach versus Richard Allen Long Revocable Trust. Richard Allen Long as trustee.
Good morning, Special Magistrate. This is a continuation case for 202-40529, St. Pete Beach versus Richard Long Revocable Trust. As of July 31st, Mr. Bowery met with code compliance, the zoning department, planning, and the building department and he's decided not to pursue the permit any further.
Okay, so if he's choosing not to pursue the permit, I see Mr. Bowery's here, so I'll ask him that. I'll probably better question for him. But is the property otherwise in compliance?
Well, he was requested that he remove all the structure that he had created back there. And as of this morning, there was still some of the bar visible and tables and chairs and such, so he hasn't quite removed that yet.
Okay,
So
all right.
I do have pictures of that if you'd like to see that.
Yes, if you could, if that's part of the city's case, of course.
So that's just the entrance into that back area. Signage still remains, so it's blank. Cold bar setup is still there. Tables in the back. Part of the work that had to be done was that the electrical that they had created back there needs to be closed off or secured. Tables, ladders and such, and these are like some sort of smokers or something in the back. Tables. That's the pictures that I have of this morning.
From this morning, okay.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Mr. Bowery? Good morning, how are you? So what's going on?
Just working on the progress, got all the other stuff out, the fridges and things like that.
Okay.
As you see, I started already dismantling the bar area. It's just kind of discarding, kind of being able to have it removed.
Okay,
I don't have a vehicle that's able to do so, and that's basically it. The smokers were approved.
right.
That's the reason why those are still there. And there was only 2 tables, not 4 tables, and pretty much they're not in use. They're kind of broken. The ladder is so, I have a small leak up front, up on the roof, so I
You're
kind
trying to fix that?
I squeegee that off when it's been raining. But other than that, yes, I'm shelving the idea, and
Okay.
the only thing that I was, the electrician signed on to the permit. That's the same electrician that signed on the permit, so I just figured that they were just gonna come over and just check the electrical. That I paid for the fine for, that was already there.
Okay, so how long?
Knock it off, like what you said.
Right, well, I mean, and that's something that you'll have to figure out and talk to the building department and see how you would be able to shut that off and get with code enforcement.
I turned off the breakers to the back area,
Okay,
so they can't be like used by somebody if they walk back there.
okay.
Other than that, I don't know if I'm supposed to buy locks, so I don't know.
Okay, I would suggest getting with code enforcement to see how they would consider it compliant for the electrical part. For the remainder, how long do you think it will take you to remove the bar, like the physical bar area and kind of all the other things back there to come into compliance?
So, it shouldn't take long. I was just waiting for somebody with the right vehicle. I might just get myself
Like a U-Haul or something?
I might just do it myself.
Okay, do you think 2 weeks would be sufficient time to clean up the rest of it and get it into compliance? The only reason I'm asking is because I need to be able to get an order. We've kind of been pushing it off, waiting for the permitting to go through.
Yep, so I'm gonna break down the bar and get rid of it, and 2 weeks is probably fine. I mean, I'll definitely have it done by before the end of the month. I started working on it. Like I
Okay.
said, I had to get the fridge and all the other stuff out of there first.
Right,
And that was easier to get done first, and then.
okay. Okay,
I am
well,
working on it. I definitely will have it done.
okay, all right, sounds good. All right, anything else from the city? Okay,
In order for 2 weeks to have this all.
I haven't made my determination yet, but I'm about to do that. Yeah, so we have been kind of putting it off because Mr. Bowery was trying to get permits and working with the city. Now that's a different tract altogether. I'm gonna give 2 weeks, so 14 days from the date of my order for Mr. Bowery to come into compliance. And I would suggest getting with the code enforcement and building department to figure out the electrical side of that, what it would take to come into compliance. And then when the property is in compliance, you'll need to contact code enforcement, just let them know so they can come out and inspect it and make sure everything is good. So 2 weeks and then, or 14 days from the date of my order. We have Yeah, we'll just have to come back for another hearing in the event that we need to impose fines. So 2 weeks, and then we'll check back at the, the September hearing, I think, is set for
The 8th?
the 8th, yeah. And Labor Day is the 1st.
So that's the week after.
Yeah. So it'll be September 8th. We'll come back. If it's in compliance, I won't need to see you, Mr. Barry. If not, then I will assess fines and fees at that time. And I will get you a written order. I've got your email address, so I'll go ahead and send that off. All right. And moving on, case 3B, 20250312, City of St. Pete Beach versus SunGold LLC. I'm pretty sure we combined all these cases, so I'm going to take 3B, 3C, 3D, which are case numbers 20250312, 20250417, 20250418. All City of St. Pete Beach versus SunGold LLC.
Good morning, Madam Magistrate. Steve Rivera on behalf of the City of St. Pete Beach. I got an email from Mr.
LaRoe.
I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
Explaining he wasn't going to be able to make it today.
Okay.
He did send me an email, so we're asking this is continued to October.
Okay. I will go ahead and continue these by agreement of the parties until the October 8th magistrate, or 6th magistrate hearing. By chance, do you know if the property owner has made any headway on the fencing on that?
He did.
Okay,
He wanted to be present for
Okay.
the hearing, but there's been progress.
okay, good. All right, then moving on to item 3E, case number 20240699, City of St. Pete Beach versus Jennifer Franco. For full disclosure, I received a letter in the mail from Ms. Franco with regards to asking that fines not be assessed, et cetera, et cetera. I did send that to the city attorney and copied Mr. Dewar, so I do hope that you all were in receipt of that. I did not respond to Ms. Franco on that, but I just wanted to make sure you guys all got that and there's no ex parte communications.
So, good morning.
Good morning.
Rochelle, representing City of St. Pete Beach, case 20240699, City versus Ms. Jennifer Franco. I believe she is here to, and will have the opportunity to speak. She was issued a work without permit for drywall. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. As of today, there's no permit that's been applied for. So,
Okay, so my order did say that she needed to have 14 days to get an after-the-fact permit for the work that was done, and you're saying as of today, there's no permit that's been applied for?
correct.
Okay. Anything else?
Nope, that's it.
All right, and Ms. Franco is appearing via Zoom. Ms. Franco, did you hear what the city has said, that as of today's date, there's been no permit that's been applied for?
Okay, I can hear what you're saying. It was hard for me to
Okay.
hear what you were saying.
Okay, she had said that there, as of today's date, my last order on this case said that you had to get an after-the-fact permit within 14 days of the order, and as of this morning, there's been no permit that's been applied for. So what is your response to the city?
So I tried to update the city via email last week. I did secure a contractor. He's finalizing the documents. He texted me yesterday that he's going to try to get it submitted, I believe, by Tuesday. I have received the roof permit, the final on that, as well as I believe a final on plumbing work that was done, which should be, I guess, uploaded in the city's permit. But I have secured a contractor that we've worked everything out that he said he's submitting in the next couple days and has already started all the paperwork.
Okay.
As of last week.
Can you,
He did share his license number with the people on the email with the city.
okay, thank you. Can you share with me what the reasoning was that you didn't secure a permit before the work was done on the property?
I've had, well, in the letter, it says I had a lot of challenges getting a contractor. Full transparency, I have no idea how I'm even gonna pay for this work. The property is secured by a mortgage that will not give me any type of hardship. It costs 3 times the amount of my monthly mortgage that I live in. And I had gotten like a deferment with them and I paid it back. They reported it's 2 months late to my credit. So right now my credit is in the low 600s, maybe 500s. So I can't even get a loan for this work. So there's been a hardship after hardship. The reason I wasn't at the last hearing is I don't know, a week before they found a 2-inch mass on my liver. So I came back to that. Lots. Sorry, I get emotional when I think about it. There's
No,
lots
that's
of
okay.
things,
I understand.
not like a lack of trying.
Okay, so, okay. And I can understand why you didn't come to, well, the other thing too is this is your primary home. I have your mailing address in Las Vegas. Okay.
No. My primary is in Las Vegas. The work that I had done, because like I said in the letter, FEMA said that it was 80% damage. The borders would not work with me. A lot of personal loss. I lost my mom. I lost really everything that I cared about. So it's just me, but I have tried. Sorry, I don't know why I get emotional with this place every time, but I am trying. But my primary's in Vegas, so I appreciate you guys accommodating because I really don't have the money to fly out there and deal with this, but I'm working on this. I've secured the guy. I'm going to secure the financing. I'm going to take care of it. I just have to, I'm getting a path, so I'm working on it.
Okay. All right. Anything else, Ms. Franco, that you think I should know that's relevant to this? I'm sorry. It does sound like you've had a hard time.
No. I'm sorry. I hate that I get so easily stressed out when it comes to talking about this stuff. But no, I'm actively trying. And I did want to see if the court would work with me on whatever the violation fines are, and also like the timeline. Because while I have the person, I have to figure out how I'm going to pay the person. But it is everything that I've gotten is secured against my primary. So I'm trying not to lose my primary in working on this house, because I do actively have this house for sale for what I owe, and I just haven't been able to sell it.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Franco. I appreciate that. Anything else from the city? Okay, and I know I'd given Ms. Franco 2 weeks. Did the city have a request for any amount of fines that you wanted to have assessed?
Well,
And let me ask you this too, in between, aside from the letter that I received and sent to you guys, had you had any conversations or had you had any,
I believe our administrator had spoken to her.
With Ms. Franco,
and
okay.
She advised her that she had secured a contract but hadn't quite applied for the permit yet.
Okay,
That was the last conversation
okay,
we had with her.
all right. Okay, so any recommendation from the city or any request from the city on fines?
Well, due to the hardship, I guess I'm willing to work with her if she can get the application in within a short period of time here. I mean, she's had plenty of times, 2 weeks maybe, to actually get the application in.
Okay. Okay, I think that's fair. So what I'll go ahead and do is, Ms. Franco, just so you know, you'll get a written order on this, and I will go ahead and continue my order for another 14 days from the date of the next order, and I will send you a copy of it. So you have 14 days from the date of my order to apply for a permit. If you can't, contact the city, try to work with them. They can maybe see about extending that time if you need it. If not, we will be back here again in September. You can probably appear via Zoom if needed, if we need to. If you've already applied for the permits, I won't need to see you. If you don't apply for the permits within that 2-week time frame, then I will go ahead and assess a fine. And in doing so, I will take into account what you've told me here today. But I think that's, this has been going on for a little bit. And I don't want to sound crass, but you're not the only person in this community that has had to go through something like this. And for a lot of these people, it's their primary home. So I do understand that. I also understand that the property is actively up for sale. So again, 14 days from the date of my order to get the permits applied for. And my previous order said to apply for, not to secure the after-the-fact permits. So I think that's fair. And I will get that out to you as soon as I can.
Okay.
And Ms. Franco, do we have, I don't need you to do it at a public hearing, but does the city have your email? I have your email address, I think. I think you sent it in the letter. Okay, I will go ahead and email you a copy of the order so that you have that. Okay, thank you, Ms. Franco. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Okay. Moving on to case 20240707, City of St. Pete Beach versus Chris Spencer.
Ayaka Rakdashel, representing the City of St. Pete Beach, case 2024-0707, St. Pete Beach versus Chris Spencer. This was a continuation for unauthorized no permit had been applied for, and as of this morning, still no application.
Okie dokie. Is Mr. Spencer here? Anyone here on behalf of Mr. Spencer? Chris Spencer? Anyone here on behalf of Mr. Spencer, or is Chris Spencer here? Okay, seeing as no one is here on behalf of Mr. Spencer, I'm going to find that the property still remains in non-compliance. Does the city have a recommended daily fine?
Yes, $250 per day plus administrative costs,
And what are the amount of administrative costs?
$330.
$330. Okay, I am going to go ahead and assess $250 per day from we'll do it from July 7th, excuse me. What was the initial date of the violation? Do you know?
I'd have to look at it. I don't have the official date, though.
If you don't have it readily available, I can look it up. I'll just put it in my order.
What was the question, please?
The initial date of the violation, so that I can start my $250 from the date after the date of the violation. So that's going to be my order. I'll assess $250 a day, starting the date after the date on the violation, which was in the last set of evidence that was presented to me. I can look that up. That will be written in my order, plus $330 in the reasonable administrative costs of the city. Until the property comes into compliance, the property owner is responsible for notifying the city once the property comes into compliance. Okay, moving on to case number 20250069, City of St. Pete Beach versus Annie Nguyen and Jimmy Trong.
Yes, Ayaka Rakdashel, representing the City of St. Pete Beach Code Enforcement, St. Pete Beach versus Annie Trung. I did speak with the respondent this morning. She's out in California. She has requested an extension and a continuation because she has got contractors to work on the weekends to help clean up the property.
Okay,
She was going to send me some pictures this morning and an email to have that put in writing. However, she was down to 15, 20 minutes before magistrate this morning, so I don't have that in writing, but I did speak with her verbally.
okay, and considering it's 3 hours earlier in California, she might be getting it her morning, just not your morning. Okay, and is the city exposed to any type of an extension or continuation of this?
This is the first sort of effort I think she has to actually come to compliance. So our goal is to have her come to compliance. So I'd be willing to work with her for a short term to get this, maybe 30 days.
30-day extension?
Work on weekends, yes.
And how about, let's see. All right, I will do, grant a 30-day extension, well, just to make sure. Is anyone here on behalf of Annie Nguyen or Jimmy Trong? Didn't think so, but just for the record. All right, I will grant a 30-day extension from the date of my order. That will put us, where are we? October 6th. For a case status check to make sure the property is in compliance. Do you have a good email address for them?
I don't have an email, I have a phone number.
Okay, that's okay, I'll just mail the order to them. All right, thank you very much. All right, moving on, case number 20250275, City of St. Pete Beach versus Hurricane Lounge, Inc.
Good morning, Madam Magistrate, Steve Rivera on behalf of the City of St. Pete Beach Code Enforcement. This is a status hearing for the light compliance at 809 Gulf Way. I do have pictures, the property is compliant. You can see the lights on the roof are off now, upper deck's off. And then the glow is coming from below the dune. It's not their violation, but the lights that were over by the stairwell have been addressed as well.
Addressed as well, okay, perfect.
City's not asking for any funds, just the $330 administrative cost, please.
Okay. Is anyone here on behalf of the property owner Hurricane Lounge, Inc.?
Good morning, Rick Falkenstein, 809 Gulf Way, St. Pete Beach, Florida.
Good morning, Mr. Falkenstein. You understand that the city says you're now in compliance. They're not looking to associate any fines, but they are looking for the $330 in administrative costs to bring this before the magistrate. Do you have any response to that?
I'm sorry.
Sure. They're not asking for any fines. They've said that you've come into compliance, but
Okay.
they are asking for $330 in reasonable administrative costs for having to bring the issue before the magistrate.
That's reason.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am, that's
So
reason.
no objection to that. Okay.
No, ma'am.
All right. Well, I will get you an order to that effect, and then you are good here. Thank you very much, sir.
Yes, ma'am. Have a good day.
All right. So no fines will be assessed, $330 in administrative costs. Okay, moving on to case number 20250279, City of St. Pete Beach versus Coconut Inn.
Good morning, Steve Rivera again on behalf of the City of St. Pete Beach. This was another lighting violation for total lighting. The property is compliant. The two lights that were in question, you can actually see one that's here, there's another one behind the tree there now. Total light compliant lighting.
Okay.
City's not asking for any fines, just the $330 administrative cost.
All right. Is anyone here on behalf of Coconut Inn LLC? Good morning.
Hi, Maggie LeBlanc.
Hi, Ms. LeBlanc. And do you understand that the city's not asking for any fines, but is asking for the $330 in administrative costs? Okay. Do you have any response to that?
No.
Okay. Well, then I find that the property is in compliance. I will not assess any fines. I am going to assess the $330 in administrative costs. You will get an order to that effect.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, moving on to case number 20250388, City of St. Pete Beach versus Gulf West Properties LLC.
Ayaka Ruckshell, representing the City of St. Pete Beach Code Enforcement. This is a status hearing. Again, the respondent has asked for continuations to the September magistrate. They were available on 8/11 when we originally had this scheduled, but because of the
roofing issue. Okay.
they're not able to make it today. So,
All right, and does the city have any objection to that continuance?
Nope.
Okay, so I will go ahead and get an order to continue by agreement of the parties and reset this for the September 8th hearing at 10 a.m. All right. Case number 20250189, City of St. Pete Beach versus Marilyn L. Nolan, Revocable Living Trust with Marilyn L. Nolan as trustee.
Good morning again, Steve Rivera on behalf of the City of St. Pete Beach. This is a status hearing to bring the property in compliance. It was 60 days per your order. The property is not compliant. You have pictures. But it shows a wall that's still in disrepair. Some scattered debris on the property that remains. This was another building that's on the property. It's missing an entire wall. Another building on the property here. And some miscellaneous items that are still stored outside. There's no permits that's been applied for the property as of yet. There's been no communication from the property owner. I actually sent them another notice for another violation. I haven't heard back from them on that one as well. So the city is seeking $250 a day, beginning 7/16, which was the day after the compliance date you gave them, plus the $330 administrative costs, and any fees associated with liens.
The recording, okay. Is anyone here on behalf of the Marilyn L. Nolan Trust? Anyone here on behalf of the Marilyn L. Nolan Trust? I think the last time that you came before me, Ms. Rivera, on this one, there was, you had said that maybe there were people that had been out at the property. You had observed that?
Not at this.
Not at this property, okay.
No, nobody's been there. Nobody's attempted to clean up. There's a new violation now that I'm trying to work with, but I don't have a good phone number for them. We just have whatever they have on property
On the
appraiser.
property appraiser, okay.
I sent them a noticed that there was a clerical error, sent them another notice, an amended notice, and it's been almost a month now, so I haven't heard back.
Okay. All right. Due to the condition of the property and the repeated attempts to notify the property owner of its condition, I am going to find that the property is still not in compliance. I am going to order a $250 a day fine to begin on 7/16/2025 and run until the property comes into compliance. It is the property owner's responsibility to notify the city once the property comes into compliance. I will also issue an order for the $330 in the reasonable administrative costs of the city and any fees associated with the recording of any liens on this property.
Thank you.
All right, case number 202400584, City of St. Pete Beach versus Park Shore Investments.
Can I have your overhead, please? Ayaka Ruktashel, representing City of St. Pete Beach Code Enforcement. This case was actually on the docket for last month, but the respondent had requested for a continuation so they could just put in for a permit.
Okay.
So I'm going to present it to you today and then give you the status of where it's at the moment, okay? 202400584, the respondent is Park Shore Investments, LLC, violation address 523 72nd Avenue. Violation description, the property is in violation of sections 98-123.1, permits required of the Code of Ordinance of the City of St. Pete Beach. Case summary, initial inspection was on October 26, 2024. An amended notice of violation was sent on April 1st, 2025, and the notice of violation compliance date was April 15th, 2025. The notice of hearing was dated and posted on the property on June 24th of 2025. This is an affidavit of posting on June 24th, 25. This is a picture of the unpermitted post-storm drywall reinstallation and electrical work back on October 26th of 24. More evidence of drywall repairs. The corrective action that we are seeking is the property must obtain the proper permits for the work being done without a permit. Property has applied for a permit as of number 2502716 on July 24th and is currently under review. I will give you an update on that in a moment. Where recommended fine is $250 per day starting August 23rd until compliant, plus $330 a day for administrative costs and any lien recording fees that may be associated with this case. So as of July 24th, when they submitted their application, that was denied on the same day by the fire department, and with further questions emailed to the contractor, which we've had no response to as of today.
Okay, so they have applied, it was denied after review by the fire department. No other reviews have been conducted on that
Correct.
permit application? Okay.
Same day.
And no comments have been returned by the contractor?
Correct.
Okay. Okay. And have you had any other conversations with the property owner at all?
None.
Okay. All right, anyone here on behalf of Park Shore Investments, LLC? Anyone here on behalf of Park Shore Investments, LLC for 523 72nd Avenue? Seeing no one. Okay. Do we know how long, so that is there a stop work order on the property, or has the drywall work been completed?
Without a permit.
Okay. So my question is, have they completed the work? So I'm trying to figure out if they need to secure an after-the-fact permit, or if they need to, if they're looking to secure a permit for, they were midway through the work and are trying to get a permit for what is presently being,
I think they have to secure an after the fact.
okay. Okay, then that will change my order. All right, so then at this point, with the testimony from the city saying that the work has been completed, they need to secure an after-the-fact permit. I am going to give them 14 days from the date of my order to secure an after-the-fact permit, understanding that they've already applied, so it should be fairly easy for them to submit what they need to. And then we will meet back here at the September 8th hearing to determine whether or not I will impose fines or fees. Okay, moving on to new cases. Agenda item 4A, case number 202502299. We will be continuing till the October 6th meeting. 4B, case number 202500185, City of St. Pete Beach versus Robert Ruhlman.
Good morning, Madam Magistrate. Stephen Rivera again on behalf of the City of St. Pete Beach Code Enforcement. This is case number 202500185. Respondent is Robert Ruhlman. Violation description: the property is in violation of Section 9865(1)(b) and 6, unsightly conditions, 9866A, B, 2A, B, 3A, B, 5, 7, and 24 of residential and commercial property maintenance of the City of St. Pete Beach, Code of Ordinance of the City of St. Pete Beach. Case summary: initial inspection was 4/1. Notice of violation dated 4/2/2025. Notice of violation compliance date 4/16/2025. Notice of hearing dated and posted to the property 7/30/2025. Following is a true and accurate representation of what I witnessed. This is the affidavit of posting at 401 Gulf Way. Here in the picture, you can see a couple of the windows that are boarded up. There's a section of siding that's missing. We got rotted trim around a window on the back side of the building here. And peel and paint, rotted door jamb. And kind of outlined a couple of the other areas. Hard to see in the photo. This is a trash can that was stored in public view. It's a picture of the fence that was in disrepair. You can see it's the whole side of the property there. Corrective action: property must remove the boards off the windows, repair the rotted door, and trim, remove or repair the fence, and store the trash can out of public view. Property is not compliant. Recommended fine is $250 a day, beginning 8/23, plus the $330 administrative costs, and any recording fees that may be associated with this case. I have been in communication with the property owner.
Okay.
The fence, they have taken it down. Some of the boards have been removed. They're still working on getting it into compliance. However, they're not in compliance as of yet. And that concludes my presentation.
Thank you. Is anyone here on behalf of the property owner, Robert Ruhlman? If you could please come up, state your name for the record.
Robert Ruhlman, 401 Gulf Way.
Mr. Ruhlman, tell me what's going on.
We have the windows have been taken care of. Majority of this stuff has just been finished in the last 4 days. I have a list of what's been done. I have been in communication from the very beginning of the storm that hurt everybody out here. But we also got whacked in Asheville, North Carolina, and lost a home.
Sorry to hear that.
And so between the two, and then I had a medical emergency that kind of threw everything off course. I have talked to code enforcement. They've been helpful with working with me. But a lot of the things that we're seeing, I have not had a chance to talk to Stephanie or Jeff Jennifer, and let them know that these things have been completed.
Okay. Do you have an estimated amount of time when the remainder of the things on the punch list will be completed?
I would say we can have that done in 14 days. The fence is down, been hauled away. The door in the back has been repaired. The windows are all uncovered again. One of the things they asked about was painting. We were aware of that because of weather, and this time of year, it's a little difficult to get, anybody
To come out?
The windows took so long is nobody wanted to get on a ladder and climb up and take them down, and I can't do it.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, it sounds to me like you think 14 days will be sufficient, so I will allow for 14 days from the date of my order, which could be today, might be tomorrow. For the remainder of the property to come in compliance, please just stay in touch with the city, and when everything is in compliance, let them know so they can come out and re-inspect. I will set this for a case status update on the September 8th meeting. Hopefully, I don't need to see you there and the property's in compliance. If not, I will see you on September 8th. And just make sure we have your proper contact information to get you a copy of the order.
Ma'am.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
All right, moving on to agenda item 4C, case number 20250368, City of St. Pete Beach versus Ronald Viano and Lauren Moniz. I hope I didn't butcher anyone's name too terribly.
Morning, Madam Magistrate. Sam Rivera again on behalf of the City of St. Pete Beach Code Enforcement. Case number 20250368. Respondents Ronald Volnit and Lauren Moniz. If I butchered that up, I apologize.
Between the two of us, maybe we got somewhere close.
Okay. Violation address is 1109 Gulf Way. Violation description, the property is in violation of section 23.4C and J, general parking requirements of the Land Development Code of the City of St. Pete Beach. Case summary, initial inspection was 6/16/2025. Irreparable and irreversible notice of violation dated 7/21/2025. Notice of hearing dated and posted to the property 7/30/2025. The following is a true and accurate representation of what I have witnessed. This is the affidavit of posting at 1109 Gulf Way. So in this picture, there's a picture of the property owner soliciting for parking. Another picture of parking solicitation. Another picture here. Again on July 26 here. This is an inspection email that was done by another officer over the weekend. If you look down, let's see here, I'm trying to find a section here.
Could you please read it into the record?
Yeah, and I'm trying to see it. If you give me a second, I should put my laptop up. I can't. My eyes aren't what they used to be. So this email was from Officer Ruckdeshaw, and I mean, if it would please, it is her email, it's her words. Would it be okay if I had her read the email?
Whatever the city wants to do, I'll take the testimony from either of you.
Good morning, Ayaka Ruckdeshaw, City of St. Pete Beach. Actually easier up there for me. So I sent an email on June 14th, the day that I observed this behavior, sending it to our manager, Pete Dewar. I was at Pass-A-Grill all morning and did not observe any activity initially at 1109 Gulf Way. I attached pictures that I took basically hourly from 9:30, 10:18, 11:18 to 12:04. And so I started to head back up north towards my other location. The complainant neighbor across the street at 113 12th Avenue, Mr. Jacob Holhouse, started sending messages of Mr. Vignault, who was in an orange shirt, and Laura Monez in a beige shorts and top, in the group text around 1 p.m. when I was back at Upham Beach on the north end of St. Pete Beach. I rushed back down to Pass-A-Grill and observed customers exiting their parked vehicle, which were parked in the rear of the property in question, the 1109 Gulf Way. I confirmed to them that they had just paid for parking and asked them how much, and they said $40. They proceeded to speak. I then proceeded to speak with Mr. Vignault as he was out on the Gulfway, still pitching to other vehicles, and advised him that he could not solicit for beach parking on his private property. He asked if Ms. Moniz could then join our conversation, because she was over at the house, and she came out from the house to speak with us. They wanted to know who the complainant was, and what is the ordinance prohibiting this activity, and what my email was, which I provided to them. They claimed to have checked with their lawyer, who said it was okay for them to solicit parking on their private property, and advised them to make a public records request if they wanted to know who had made the complaint. They stated that they will continue to sell their resident parking spaces until they receive a notice of a violation, and I left, and they started again selling at 1:34 p.m.
Thank you.
And continuing on, this is a screenshot of my notes that I put in my inspection report. I have the same one here that I'm going to read from. It's a little easier for me. On 7/13, I inspected the property for sales of parking. I was approached by the property owner, Laura Moniz, who offered me parking. I asked if she was selling parking and stated that she had stated, in fact, that she was selling parking. I identified myself as a city employee, and I stated that she should not be selling parking as she is not permitted to do so. She asked for identification and simply said okay when advised to stop. Corrective action: property must discontinue the sales of parking. Property is compliant. Recommended fine is $3,000 for the irreparable and irreversible violation, plus $330 administrative costs and any recording fees associated with this case. That concludes my presentation. Madam Magistrate, if you would allow, we do have a witness, the complainant himself, who also has screenshots of the Cash App transfers showing parking to the owner. If you would allow him to speak.
Whatever evidence that you all are willing to present in your case in chief.
Good morning, and I was a few minutes late. Do I need to be sworn in?
Yes.
Okay.
Could you please raise your hand? Do you swear from the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Could you please state your name for the record?
Jacob Holhouse, 109 13th Avenue North, St. Petersburg, Florida, 33701.
And your last name is spelled?
HOLEHOUSE.
Okay. Just like it sounds?
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, and Mr. Holhouse, go ahead and let me know what you observed or what your testimony is today.
Yeah, so we lived in the home across the street. Noticed in February that they started selling parking there. And at first it was like, hey, once a week, this is cute. Then turned into spring break 3 times a week. We said something to them as to like, hey, could we not, do this? It adds 40 to 50 people, onto our street there. They came over to our house and approached us, called me a California communist, and for taking away their property rights. And then upon walking my dogs that night, came back and in walking in, so we actually just moved. We're planning to rent that house. They said, I will use every legal right to make your life hell of having a tenant if you turn us into city code enforcement. So we sat on it for about 60 days, did not turn it in, and then it just continued to escalate to the point of the city issues parking passes for street parking for residents, to where they were even selling that city like street pass as well for the $40 that's designed for residents only. And so that's when we basically, turned the case in to code enforcement. And then, one of the other things that we found is Venmo, which is public payments, was being used for many of the transactions. And so we did turn that into the city, where you can see that, people were basically paying for parking on Venmo. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, thank you. Anything further from the city?
No, ma'am.
Okay, is there anyone here on behalf of the property owners? Mr., and I'm gonna butcher names again, Ronald Vinault or Vino and Ms. Lauren Mones? Hi, good morning. If you guys could please state your names and sound them out correctly for the rest of us, I would appreciate that.
Lauren Monas.
Yeah, Ronald Vigneault.
Vigneault, okay, Vigneault, got it. Okay, you guys have heard what has been alleged against you. What information would you like to present?
Yeah, so I have 3 points that I'd like to present to you. The first is the Florida statute 715.075 and the right to use private property. I want to clarify that all my actions regarding the use of my private driveway for parking have been based on a sincere belief that this activity is lawful under Florida statute 715.075. My understanding of this statute is that the subsection 1 explicitly permits private property owners to establish parking rules and rates on their property. Subsection 2 prohibits local governments from adopting ordinances that restrict this right. Based on that clear language, I genuinely believe that the city's blanket prohibition on selling private driveway parking is preempted by state law. That said, I fully recognize that this statute comes with specific conditions, including requirements for signage, invoicing, grace periods, and appeal rights. I am fully committed to ensuring compliance with every element of the statute and am open to any feedback or clarification that the city may offer. My intent is not to create conflict, but to exercise my rights responsibly and respectfully under Florida law in a way that does not compromise public safety, neighborhood character, or the rights of others. If there are specific compliance concerns, I welcome the opportunity to work in good faith to resolve them. Nonetheless, I submit that an outright prohibition conflicts with the statutory protections I just described. Number 2, responding to an obvious public need. It's important to recognize the real and growing need for parking in Paso Grill and all of St. Pete Beach. As full-time residents, we witness firsthand the frustration this creates. We've seen arguments, traffic congestion, fights, honking, all over parking availability. This issue first came to us during a lunch one afternoon when a visitor pulled up and told us she had been driving around for an hour looking for parking. She asked to pay to use our driveway. We agreed, and we even let her park there for free. That's how this all started. The city's own St. Pete Beach action plan acknowledges this problem and explicitly encourages, quote, this is all part of St. Pete Beach parking action plan, quote, work with private property owners to allow public parking on vacant private lots. If this is part of the city's own strategy, we struggle to understand why we are now facing code enforcement threats for doing exactly that. Helping to reduce congestion, supporting local businesses, and creating a better visitor experience. Our intention has never been to operate a business, but to offer an occasional solution to a clear community problem in a way that is safe, legal, and beneficial to the neighborhood economy. Number 3, my last point, concerns about unequal enforcement and harassment. I must raise serious concerns about what we believe has been discriminatory and intimidating enforcement behavior. A few weeks ago, we walked out our front door and there was a private, unmarked vehicle that was a black truck that was blacked all over, and the windows, you couldn't even see inside. It was running, it was right outside our front door, and I knew that that was code enforcement Stephen sitting outside, waiting for us to do whatever he wanted to take pictures of. This felt extremely invasive, made us uncomfortable, and frankly, unsafe in our own home. I don't want to walk out my door and feel like I'm being spied on, which every weekend it seems like there's someone taking pictures of us, and that feels incredibly invasive. We are not the only property owners in the area who have allowed parking on private driveways, yet we appear to be singled out, including being cited for parking on the grass, while others, and we have pictures of our neighbors doing it, are not held to the same standard. This inconsistency suggests a pattern of selective enforcement, which feels unfair and retaliatory. We pay over $50,000 a year in property taxes. And we have always tried to be responsible stewards of our property and respectful members of this community. We simply ask for equal treatment, clear guidance, and respectful dialogue with the city. And I really hope that my feeling of being harassed with pictures every time I walk outside my door is going to stop. And the fact that if we have cars parked in our driveway, we live in Paso Grill, if we have cars parked there, that it's not going to be assumed that we are soliciting parking. We have friends, we have family, we're allowed to have cars parked in our driveway. Just like his photos showed, if I'm talking to someone on the street, that doesn't mean that I solicited them. In addition, so I also sent an email to Miss, I don't know how to say it.
Dr. Show.
I never received it, so I don't think.
Okay, but I sent the email, and we have proof of that. And what she said is that we were going to continue to sell the parking until we get a violation. That's not true. I didn't say that. I said we're going to keep selling the parking until we see the ordinance. Because our lawyer, actually, we consulted with him, and he said, I looked at all the codes.
I don't want you to disclose any attorney-client privilege information, so if you're willing to disclose it, please do. I just want to make sure.
I'm willing, yeah, yeah. Anyway, he said, I can't find anything. And then she approached us, and I said, well, can you show us the ordinance? And she said, I don't know it. She said, send me an email. I sent her an email, and I never got a response. And then the next thing we know, we got a violation. So that's how this all worked out.
Okay.
Can we show the email? The email is right there. Can you confirm that's your email?
I can't see that.
Okay. Can I show it to you? Can you confirm that's your email? Let's see. Oh, this is a picture of it. We can. Let's pull the email.
And it was, it's on my phone, so, I mean, if
It's okay. Yeah, and we have the testimony, so I understand
yeah.
how we got here. Okay.
And I just want to add something else. You know, this is a personal problem with Jake, with us. And you can see that because he just lied to everyone about the conversation we had.
Yeah,
this
we
is
never
not the
said
conversation we
anything
had.
like he said.
And Jake
really
owns an insurance company.
Okay, no.
But he's mad at us because we cancel most of our houses.
Right.
So
Can
this is
you
a
just
personal
talk
problem.
to her about?
Yeah, but it has to be said, you know, because everybody else is doing it and we're singled out.
And I will be the first person to tell you, I'm very happy you guys have never been before me before, but the argument that everyone else is doing it and so we should get to do it is not going to fly. Just because everyone else speeds doesn't mean speeding is legal. So to that point,
It's not right.
and I will assess the credibility when I make my ruling. And do you guys have anything further?
No, but
Okay.
I think those are, our points, so.
All right, thank you very much. And then anything further from the city?
No, ma'am.
Okay, I am going to take this under advisement. I am going to, I'm very familiar with the statute that you referenced. However, it was just passed in 2024, so there's not a lot of case law with regard to if that preemption applies moving forward or if it's a grandfathered preemption. So I want to take a look at the actual bill passage and see when it came into effect and what happened there. So I want to do a little bit of research before I make my ruling to make sure one, is the statute applicable to this? Two, compared to the citation that you received from the city, because it is not a full preemption. Municipalities and local governments can make some regulations with regard to off-street parking, which is the section you've been cited under. So not necessarily the solicitation for parking, but off-street parking in the section. So I want to take a little bit of time to do the legal research on it so that I can
Magistrate.
get it. Yes.
I apologize. If I may I also submit a supplemental brief on behalf of the city?
Yeah, well, okay, so that's fair. I would say I'm going to have to give each side the opportunity to do so. Understanding you are not currently represented by counsel, I will get an order. How about I do this? I will allow the parties 7 days from today's date, if you so choose, anything in addition to your argument that you've given here today, legal argument, to submit to me in the form of an email or Word document, however you want to submit it, a legal briefing as to why you think 715.075 applies and your legal position. After the 7 days has passed, the city will have an additional 7 business days, I'm not going to count weekends, 7 business days in order to go ahead and get me a response or a rebuttal brief. And then I will make my ruling after that. And so that you have my email address, it is Erica, E-R-I-C-A, at cityattorneys.legal.
City attorney?
Attorneys. CITYATTORNEYS.legal. And then I will send. Yeah, I'm just going to make that oral ruling for now, for you guys to get me my briefing, and then within 7 days, and then 7 days rebuttal, 7 business days of today's date. So not counting today, starting tomorrow.
Thank you, Madam.
And then I will look at both of those, and then I will make my ruling based on the legal landscape that was set in both of those.
Okay.
Okay. And when you send it to me, just make sure that you copy somebody from the city on it. Preferably the city attorney's office, but somebody from the city. If you don't, that's fine. I will just incorporate them into it so that we don't have any ex parte communications. Because technically I'm sitting as a judge in my position in here.
And also, are you aware of the parking action plan?
You can submit that within your brief. That's fine.
Okay.
I am bound by certain things that I can and cannot consider, and I will set that forth in my order, but you need to give me whatever you think is the legal landscape so that I can take consideration of it, and then they will respond to it, and then I'll have all of it, and you will get a full order with, you know, everything. I don't think this applies, I think this applies, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
All right?
Okay.
All right. Thank you both very much for your time here today, and I will just be on the lookout for that email.
Okay.
Thank you. And thank you, Ms. Berryman, I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Okay. Moving on to 4D, case number 2025034, City of St. Pete Beach versus Scott R. Shamming and Lisa R. Shamming.
Also, good morning. Good morning, Madam Magistrate. Stephen Rivera again, on behalf of the City of St. Pete Beach Code Enforcement. Case number 2025034, respondent is Scott R. Shamming and Lisa M. Shamming. Violation address is 2817 Pasagrove Way. Violations description, the property is in violation of 23.11(2), 1, and 2, parking, construction, and design requirements of the Land Development Code of the City of St. Pete Beach. Case summary, initial inspection was 6/4/2025. Notice of violation dated 6/5/2025. Notice of violation compliance date 6/23/2025. And notice of hearing dated and posted to the property 7/30/2025. The following is a true and accurate representation of what I've witnessed. This is the affidavit of posting at 2817 Pasagrove Way. It's a Google image of what the driveway looked like before it was removed. It's a current picture of the driveway now, covered in mulch. It looks like the concrete was removed and they put mulch down. It's another picture here, July 9th. You can see in this picture too how the mulch is coming out of, it's getting washed out into the street. Another picture from the other side. Corrective action, property must apply for a driveway permit and construct a driveway to meet the code standards. Property is not compliant. Recommended fine is $250 a day beginning 8/23. plus $330 administrative costs and any recording fees that may be associated with this case. And that concludes my presentation.
And Mr. Rivera, do they need a permit to remove the concrete that was already on the driveway?
Should have gotten a permit to remove, it would have been one permit to remove and reinstall. There's no permit application at this time for the reinstallation.
Okay, so would it be I guess it would just be an after the fact or just a driveway?
Yeah, and I didn't see him pulling it out, so I didn't issue a stop work order. This was,
Right.
I drove by, saw it was mulched, there was no car parked on it. Assumed maybe they were just going to use the other side entrance for their garage. And then noticed that they started parking on it, and that's when it became a violation.
Okay. All right, thank you, Mr. Rivera. Is there anyone here on behalf of the property owners? If you could please come up and state your name for the record.
Scott Shamming, 2817 Passero Way.
All right, Mr. Shamming, kind of let me know what happened here.
Well, Bruce is right. I didn't get it done in time, and not necessarily technologically advanced to get that permit applied for. I did talk to, I think, an associate or somebody that. So I got the estimates. It's going to be done within the next. They're going to start in about 2 weeks to 3 weeks is when they're going to start. So it's going to be. So I'll have the permit applied for prior to that. Get it approved. So it's going to be all along. We were putting. I wanted to put down the Augusta brick down, like the streets, but tried to find some. We couldn't find any, so I had to settle for Detroit as opposed to Old Chicago. So that took a little bit of time, and so now I only put that down to hold down like the dirt and all that, and so I know that I apologize for putting that down, but I just didn't want to get all dirty, so that's my bad. So.
Okay, so the concrete has been removed. The concrete pads have been removed.
Yeah, it was.
The mulch went in to prevent the spread of dirt everywhere.
Yeah, in and out. Yeah, so that's what I did it for. So.
Do you know? You said it was about 3 weeks for them to install, or
they're going to start
in 3 weeks.
He told me 2 to 4 weeks this morning, but I'm pushing them to get it like sooner than later.
Okay.
So.
Okay. So then. Okay. All right, that makes sense. All right, anything else?
Yeah, and the one estimate didn't have like a concrete berm, from the street end on that one side, and so I was the apron, yeah. So the other one did, so I'll show it to you. That's all. All right. Thanks.
Okay. All right. Anything else from the city?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So your estimate is 2 to 3 weeks, but you still have to pull permits.
Well, I'm going to pull a permit here this week.
Okay.
Because we're all ready to go. I'm just going to pull the permit and make sure he's okay.
Then I will do 4 weeks from the date of my order in order to have the concrete, the permit pulled and everything installed and ready to go.
Okay.
And to come into compliance. So that will put us after the September hearing. So I will set a status check for the October 6th hearing. Hopefully I don't see you then because everything's in compliance and you're good to go. But if not, then I will see you on October 6th. Please make sure we have your contact information, and I'm going to send you an order that says all that.
You got it.
Thank you so much, Mr. Shamming, and have a great day.
Thank you. You too. Thank you for your consideration.
All right, and moving on to 4E, case number 0420, City of St. Pete Beach versus Kenneth Hutman. Mr. Rivera.
Steve Rivera, City of St. Pete Beach Code Enforcement. Case number 2025-0420. Respondent is Kenneth Hutman. Respondent address is 2893 West Vena Del Mar Boulevard. Violation description: the property is in violation of section 4633(1) and 4B enumeration, 9866A, B, 20, and 24 residential and commercial property maintenance of the Code of Ordinance of the City of St. Pete Beach. Case summary: initial inspection was 7/1/2025. Notice of violation dated 7/2/2025. Notice of violation compliance date dated 7/17/2025. Notice of hearing dated and posted on the property 7/30/2025. Following is a true and accurate representation of what I have witnessed. This is the affidavit of posting at 2893 West Vena Del Mar Boulevard. It's a picture of the grass and weeds that were overgrowing. Another picture there. This is the side yard going into the backyard. It was a little worse than the front yard there. It's the little island section there in the horseshoe driveway. It's a piece of the retaining wall that's starting to shift. And more retaining wall that's shifting around there. This is grime buildup that was on the roof. Corrective action, property must cut and maintain the grass and weeds regularly, repair the section of retaining wall that are in disrepair, and clean the grime buildup off the roof. Property is not compliant. Recommended fine is $250 per day, beginning 8/23/2025, plus $330 administrative costs and any recording fees that may be associated with this case. I did finally get a call from one of the property owners. The grass has been cut. So the grass and weeds have been cut. The retaining wall, they're still working on. They did clean the grime off the roof. So currently, the only violation that's on the property would be the, for the grass and weeds, 986620, I believe it is. I'm sorry. The grass and
retaining.
weeds it was the retaining wall.
The retaining wall.
Yeah, my apologies. Think of what was in compliance there.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's just the retaining wall. I asked them what their plan of action was to get, they're thinking about pulling it out, but she didn't give me a definite answer as to when, and I'm not even sure if they're here today.
Okay.
They're in Virginia, so.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. Is anyone here on behalf of Mr. Hutman, or is Mr. Hutman here? Anyone here on behalf of Mr. Kenneth Hutman, or is Kenneth Hutman here? Seeing no one. Okay, I am going to find that the property is in substantial compliance, but is still not in compliance with regard to the retaining wall. I am going to allow 14 days from the date of my order in order for the property owner to repair the retaining wall, and then we will be back here on September 8th, if that is not the case.
Madam Magistrate, can I get that pushed to October? I am not available for the September hearing.
Yes, we will move it to the October 6th hearing for the status update. In addition, I have their mailing address. Have you been corresponding via email with them at all?
We've gotten email now. They finally called back. Our administrative assistant forwarded over the emails. I've spoken to, I think it's Kenneth's wife I was speaking to, Ms. Hutman. They have a local person here that went out and cut the grass and cleaned up at what they could. This came in as a complaint from the neighbor.
Okay.
Property was severely overgrown. That's going on in that area currently. So, yeah, she got back to me, but it was way after the compliance date, so.
All right, I will, you just said that they were in Virginia, so I will mail them a copy of the order once I get it to you, if you guys have their contact information, if you forward it on. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, moving on, case number 202500504, City of St. Pete Beach versus Paul Murphy and Donna J. Murphy as trustee of the trust.
Thank you, Madam Magistrate. C. Rivera again on behalf of the City of St. Pete Beach Code Enforcement. This is case number 202500504. Respondent is Paul V. Murphy, trustee, and Donna J. Murphy, trustee. Violation address is 253 41st Ave. Violation description, the property is in violation of Section 8.2A, permitted principal uses and structures of the Land Development Code of the City of St. Pete Beach. Case summary, initial inspection was 7/22/2025. Irreparable and irreversible notice of violation dated 7/28/2025. Notice of hearing dated and posted to the property 7/28/2025. Following is a true and accurate representation of what I witnessed. This is the affidavit of posting at 253 41st Ave. This is a screenshot of the Airbnb ad for the property. These are the two reviews. If you look, May of 2025, Melissa stayed about a week. And then there was another review for May of 2025 as well. Corrective action. The property can only be rented monthly. The property is compliant. Recommended fine is $1,000 per stay for the two reviews totaling $2,000, plus the $330 administrative costs and any recording fees that may be associated with this case. I do have a copy of the Airbnb policy. So this is for the review stays. On the back side here.
Okay, thank you. All right, anyone here on behalf of the property owner? Have you had any contact? Okay, if you'll please come up, state your name for the record and your affiliation with the property owner.
I gave her the...
I did see the power of attorney. If you could just for the record state your name.
I'm Angela Ross.
And what is your affiliation with the property owner?
The property management company.
And what company are you with?
St. Pete Beach Vacation Rentals.
Okay, Ms. Ross, go ahead. Whatever you want to say in response.
Well, I mean, I think it's the first time they've, been doing this, and we did put it up. I didn't advertise it for weeklies, and technically I blocked, so it was like 30 days and 30 days on each of the 7-day rentals. So there was a 7-day rental, because it was bookable on each, but I blocked the 3 weeks prior and the 3 weeks after for both those rentals. I mean, so technically it's 30 days on each side of it. So I
Right,
thought,
but the rentals were not for 30 days, correct? They were just for 7 days?
right, but you couldn't book any other time in between that.
Sure. And while I appreciate the creativity, the technicality of the law does state it has to be a 30-day rental, which would mean that you would have to have someone in the property for the 30 days, or...
So they have to be in the property the whole 30 days, even if you block it for nobody else?
Correct.
Oh, okay.
Yep. That is the way the law reads.
Oh, okay.
But so those were both short-term rentals then, and you said they're not advertising that for that anymore?
It's all taken off. It wasn't advertised. Yes, it's on Airbnb because that's where they're at anyways for the 30 days.
Okay.
But everything is taken off to be able to book
Book it
for less than that.
Okay.
So-
Okay. Anything else?
No.
Okay. All right, thank you very much. Anything else from the city?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Based on the testimony here today, I'm going to find that the property was in violation of the stated code sections. I am going to consider this irreversible or irreparable, as you cannot go back in time and unrent the property. I will, as this is the first offense for this property owner, I will go ahead and assess $500 in fines for each stay, so a total of $1,000 in fines, plus the $330 in administrative costs of the city, and any recording fees necessary in order to effectuate the lien.
Thank you, ma'am.
Of course. And Ms. Ross, just make sure that I have your email address. I can send you a copy of that order. You can forward it to the property owners. All right, and moving on, case 202500503, City of St. Pete Beach versus James Geyer for the James T.M. Geyer Trust.
Thank you. Stephen Rivera, City of St. Pete Beach Code Enforcement. Case number 202500503. Respondents James T.M. Geyer, trustee, James T.M. Geyer Trust. Violation address is 3302 East Maritana Drive. Violations description: the property is in violation of section 9.2A, permitted principal uses and structures of the Land Development Code of the City of St. Pete Beach. Case summary: initial inspection, 7/22/2025. Irreparable and irreversible notice of violation dated 7/28/2025. Notice of hearing dated and posted on the property 7/28/2025. The following is a true and accurate representation of what I witnessed. This is the affidavit of posting, 3302 East Maritana Drive. This is a screenshot of the Airbnb ad. So there's 3 reviews. One of them was in compliance. The other 2 was stayed about a week, stayed with the pet. So 2 in May. So the one in the green would have been, we're assuming, is a monthly rental. The second one in May would be a violation. And then the one for June that says stayed about a week. Corrective action. The property can only be rented monthly. Property is compliant. Recommended fine is $1,000 per stay for 2 reviews, totaling $2,000, plus $330 administrative costs and any recording fees that may be associated with this case. And that concludes my presentation.
Okay, so just for clarification, there were 2 stays in May, 1 stay in June, but the city's only categorizing the 1 stay in June that said stayed about a week, and then one of the May stays as short-term.
I could bring it back up if you need to.
No, it's okay.
So it just shows, I'm assuming that one of those May stays could have been.
Could have been from April.
I don't have proof that there's 2 violations in May.
Okay.
I see 1 definite violation in May and 1 definite violation in June.
In June. Okay, fair. Okay, anything else, Mr. Rivera?
No, ma'am.
All right. Is there anyone here on behalf of the James T.M. Geyer Trust? Please come up. Please state your name and affiliation with the trust for the record.
My name's James Geyer, and I own the house and the trust.
Okay. And Mr. Geyer, can you kind of tell me what happened here?
Yeah, just to give you a little history, I've lived in that same neighborhood 20 years in that home, our home, the last 10 years, and just walked probably 1,000 times around the neighborhood. And I won't point out, but it's kind of routine. So when my wife and I had to move, and we still own it, we come back and forth. We decided, well, let's maybe rent it out sometimes and use it sometimes. So I called the insurance company and said, what do we need to do to get this to be kind of a renter and owner policy? And they said, as long as it's not short-term rentals. What's short-term rental? Less than 3 days. So I had no idea. So first let me say I had no idea going into it. Once we received this notice, I researched it, and I agree 100% we were wrong. So that's how it came to be. I believe it was July 28th that this notice came out. By August 1st, I had our person that is in charge of the B&B immediately changed it to no less than 1 month. And at the same time, we had people booked in advance. We had somebody for next February 1 through 15. Canceled them. I paid $436.77 cancellation fee to those individuals. On December 21 through 31, canceled them right away. Paid them $234.75. I will say, we had somebody there for August 15th through the 31st. I'm being straight open. I didn't feel right to cancel them because it was such short notice. But as of September 1, there will be no more short-term rentals. That's the way it is.
Okay. And if you don't mind me asking, what's the average night? Like, what are you asking for average per night on those rentals?
I'm not trying to be evasive. I don't take care of that.
Okay.
We have somebody who does it, but from what I understand, it can vary depending on if it's a month, they get lower rates.
Per night, right.
Depending on the summer versus the winter, it's lower rates. I think in the wintertime, it's more.
Yeah. In the May ones and the June one, do you recall how much you
Well,
received
I can
for
tell
each
you
stay?
this, if you can do a little math.
Oh, we'll see.
It'll be easy. I believe I had to pay 10% of the fine, 10% to them because I canceled them. So if it was $436.77, it would have been $4,300 divided by 15 days.
Okay.
That's in the middle of
That would have
winter.
been in February, right?
Yeah, and during this point in time, I think 2 weeks was like 3,100, something.
2
like
weeks
that.
was about 3,000. Okay,
So it kind of varies and depends.
right,
They may have put a floor on it for 200 or something like
right,
that.
okay.
Um,
Okay,
The other, if I could just say,
sure.
I care very much about the neighborhood. I didn't know we were doing this in the past. I see the name Betty Renwicki. She lives in the neighborhood. I was one of the individual core group that set the stage for her to come in as president of that organization and take control of the lots M&M and safeguard the dunes. I was singularly responsible due to my relationship with the DOT of having the Bayway toll converted from paying to transponder because the cars are going through the neighborhood and causing a disruption. One complaint I would tell you that I have with the city is we do have it actively for sale. We're trying to sell it, but we're not getting any help with the city. This whole area that we're talking about is Pinellas Bayway. It goes from Barcelona to Granada. It was, when we first moved there, one of the commitments of the city was to plant, it was after the bridge was done, and it was to plant beautiful areca trees all the way across, which provided a buffer of sound and sight for the homes. The hurricane floodwaters killed many of them. But since that time, which is almost a year now, they've not done hardly anything, if anything, to clean up the dead arecas. They're all piled up. It doesn't allow the new to grow. It creates a haven for rats. It's unsanitary, and I've seen code violations listed today about unsightly this and unsightly that. They don't help us to make our sales better, to have a chance to sell it. We've complained, no results. So I hope maybe that can change. That would help us. And the last but not least, as far as, I wish I'd known we had the opportunity to be here by Zoom. I came here because it said to be here. Didn't say there was an opportunity to
There
Zoom.
typically is not,
Yeah,
so.
I checked myself out of the wishes of doctors out of a hospital this weekend to be here. Had I known, I would have certainly used Zoom. And that's really about all I have to say. We did wrong. I totally admit that.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Geyer. I appreciate your testimony here today and for being here. Anything further from the city?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
One last thing.
Sure.
I understand the $330 registration fee or whatever it is, court fee. But the trouble I have with that is, had somebody sent me a letter or gave me a phone call and said, you know, you're not supposed to be doing this, fix it, you're in violation, I would have fixed it immediately. There would have been no reason to be at this court. Some time ago, we had some bushes that went over into the sidewalk. We got a letter. I called them right up. Hey, it'll be taken care of in the next 2 days. So I don't know if anything could be changed in the future, but maybe people can get a warning before it has to come to this level.
And I appreciate that there are some certain violations that do warrant that. These types of violations are usually after the fact violations. The only time the city found out about it was because there was a review posted. So that is something that, you know, this is a public hearing, so the city is listening to that. They can certainly take that. I don't have any control over that.
Understood.
But thank you very much for that. And my understanding is this is also your first violation of this nature, because I've not seen you here before. I've seen many others that have stood there for the same violation. So I am going to find that the testimony provides that there was a violation of the code section. As we've discussed in like the last case, this is the first violation, so I'm not going to assess $1,000 per stay. I will do $500 per stay for a total of $1,000 for a fine for irreversible, plus the $300 in administrative costs of the city for having to bring the case, and the reasonable recording fees should there need to be a lien recorded. And make sure I have your contact information so I can send you a copy of the order.
And how do I go about paying that? Do I pay it
You
outside
talk to the city and they will figure out how you go about paying that.
Thank you.
I would love to take your money, but they don't let me do that. So. Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Geyer. Moving on to 4H, case number 202500426, City of St. Pete Beach versus Marilyn Rimmer.
Ayaka Ruckshell, representing the City of St. Pete Beach Code Enforcement. This is case 202500426. Respondent is Marilyn D. Rimmer Trust. Violation address is 5404 Pally Way. Violation description, the property is in violation of section 46-33, items 1A and 3. Enumeration, 98-66A, B, 20 and 22 of residential and commercial property maintenance of the Code of Ordinances of the City of St. Pete Beach. The case summary, the initial inspection was on June 25th, 2025. Notice of violation dated July 1st, 2025. Notice of violation compliance date was July 11th of 2025. Notice of hearing was dated and posted on the property on August 7th, 2025. This is a picture that I actually handed to the property owner on August 7th of the affidavit of posting.
So we know she got it?
Yes.
Okay.
This is some pictures dated back from June 25th of the overgrown vegetation. More overgrown vegetation. You can see here, same. All from June 25th. This is clearly all from, storm damage, clearly, but, and then a dead tree on the property, and overgrowth, overgrown vegetation again. Plenty of pictures. This is from July 15th. Pictures. Looks like they had a pot of some sort there. Trying to do some repairs possibly. Some debris on the property on site. This is on August 1st. Looks like a tidy up event effort on August 1st. Continue to make an effort to clean up. August 1st. So the corrective action that we're seeking is the property must maintain the landscape and remove all dead vegetation and debris. The property is not compliant as of today. I was out there this morning just to take some pictures. They are making efforts, though. The recommended fine is $250 per day beginning August 23rd, 2025, plus $330 in administrative costs and any recording fees that may be associated with this case. So for full transparency, on August 7th, when I did go out to repost the property and handed the owner the notice, I did speak with her then. She did have a landscaper on site. She had a contractor there. She was working with them to bring it into compliance and just had some questions that I answered for her.
Okay, great.
So I believe she is acting in good faith, but we need to narrow down a timeline to get this all accomplished.
Understood. Okay. Thank you very much. And anyone here on behalf of Ms. Rimmer or?
Yes.
Okay. If you want to come state your name and your affiliation with the property owner for the record. And were you here when I swore everyone in?
I was.
Okay. Just want to make sure.
That's one.
I was going to say, I watched you walk in and out, so I wasn't sure if you were here at the initial one. Perfect.
Good morning. My name's Armando Quintero. I'm Maryland's general contractor.
Perfect. And Mr. Quintero, can you kind of tell me what the plan is moving forward? How long?
Yes, we are actually on site this morning. When we were there with the inspector there early August, we had our landscaper there as well. A little slow.
Yeah.
Turnaround. Everybody's a little busy, but I'd like to request an extension to get these items taken care of.
Sure. How long do you think that you might need in order to go ahead and finish up?
14 business.
14? Okay. Okay, and you said business days.
Yes.
All right. Okay. Anything else?
No.
Okay, I typically write anything else from the city? No. Okay. I typically write my orders in regular days, in calendar days, not business days. So I am going to find that the property was not in compliance. I am going to allow for 20 days from the date of my order, which should allow for a sufficient time based on the testimony here today for the property to come into compliance. And then once it does, if you guys could just let the city know, they can come back out and inspect it. It is your responsibility to make sure that they are aware. And then we will hopefully not meet back here. Let's see, 20 days, that's kind of. So we'll have to do that for the October 8th hearing, hopefully, or 6th hearing, October 6th. Hopefully I don't have to see you there and everything is in compliance. If not, then I will see you both in October.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right, and moving on to the last case of the day, case number 2025041, City of St. Pete Beach versus Matthew Gates.
So Ayaka Rakshel, representing the City of St. Pete Beach. Code enforcement. This is the next case. Code enforcement case 2025041. The respondent is Matthew Geddes. Violation address is 429 70th Avenue. Violation description, the property is in violations of section 46-33, 1A, 2, 3, 4A, and B, 12 of enumeration. Section 98-64A, general maintenance, section 98-65, 1A and B, 3 and 4 unsightly conditions, section 98-66, A, B, 2B, 3, 6, 20, 22, 24C, 2 and 3, with the residential and commercial property maintenance of the Code of Ordinances of the City of St. Pete Beach. Case summary, initial inspection was on June 20th, 2025. Notice of violation dated June 23rd, 2025. Notice of violation compliance date July 14th, 2025. And the notice of hearing was dated and posted on the property August 7th, 2025. This is a picture of the affidavit of posting on August 7th. This house has pretty much been abandoned, so there's a lot of overgrown vegetation. The home is in disrepair, has a damaged window here. This was taken on June 20th. Overgrowth again. Overgrowth vegetation. June 20th picture. Same. Again, June 20th. Damaged window trim. Overgrown vegetation and debris in the driveway. Siding missing from the house. Debris and siding. Overgrown vegetation. Damaged windows. Missing siding again. Debris. Overgrown vegetation on June 20th again. This abandoned trailer has been removed.
Okay.
As of the date, but the overgrowth still remains. And had an expired trailer registration on it, so. Overgrown. Till June 20th, overgrown vegetation pictures. This is July 15th, still showing Overgrowth, like I said, the trailer has been removed. July 15th. I think there was an attempt to possibly clean up on August 1st. I was out on property this morning, and I do have some up-to-date pictures. So there may be a little bit of maintenance done on the landscaping. However, the structure is still in disrepair. There's been no attempts there. So the corrective action here is property must maintain the landscape, paint the exterior structure, repair fascia boards, door, window trims, fence, and remove trash, debris, and dead vegetation. The property is not compliant, so the recommended fine is $250 per day beginning August 23rd, 2025, plus $330 administrative costs and any recording fees that may be associated with this case. If you'd like to see, things have grown very quickly since that August.
Okay, yeah, thank
This
you.
is as of this morning. Overhead, please.
Oh, my,
It's
yeah,
beginning to overgrow already.
again.
Still debris. The driveway, you can still see, so wrong. Front yard. Yes. So-
Have you had the opportunity to speak with the property owner at all?
No, I've made have no contact with him.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Is there anyone here on behalf of Matthew Gates? Anyone here on behalf of Matthew Getz, or is Matthew Getz here, 429 70th Avenue? Okay, seeing no one. I do find that the property is in violation of the stated code sections. I will allow 14 days from the date of my order in order for the property owner to come into compliance. And if we do not see that, I set this for a code compliance hearing, 1, 2, for the September 8th. A status hearing for the September 8th meeting, and it is at that time I will assess any necessary fines or fees. All right. That is the last case I have on my agenda. Is there anything else we need to discuss?
No, ma'am.
Okay, so the next hearing will be September 8th at 10 a.m., and then October's is set for October 6th at 10 a.m. Okay.
Thank you.
I will see you all at those dates and those times. Have a good day.
Thank you. Have a good day.